Thank you guys for coming to the meeting tonight. Everybody have a seat. Now this first time here, the waiter said that if we order some stuff, we can only have one check. But I'm going to fix that. For the next meeting, I'm going to say, let's do the separate check thing. Because you know what happens when we get the one check. There's always somebody who goes, man, tip, tax, that's true. It always happens like that. So please, for tonight, just keep track of what you're buying. Okay, so we don't have any trouble. But the next time, I'm going to ask the manager if we'll do like individual checks, and then they'll come and take our order, and then come back at our break time, and we can have some foods, and then resume our meeting, so they're not like in and out.
Would anybody like to come a little early, like come at 6:30 or even 6:15? Just as an option. Just as another option. Yeah.
Is this place already set in stone as far as the meeting place?
Well, it's not set in stone, they're trying it out.
Okay, because I could suggest another place that Peggy and I have been gathering with a group, and it's been working out real fine.
Where is it?
It's, what's the name of the place? It's called,
Greenhouse, but I think it only accommodates up to 20.
well,
Yeah.
people are.
Greenhouse on PCH.
No, on 3rd and Linden. That's the old, Rodman. It's 3rd and Linden. It's the Rodman. It's the nicest building in Long Beach. They have this coffee shop there. They're operating to us. They got a room off the side. And
Is there ample parking? Because I'll tell you one major problem.
well, that's the thing, okay, that may be an issue, but at this time, at 7 o'clock, the meters no longer work, and that may be an issue, but we've been going at weekend, and we've been pretty good at finding places.
Well, let's check it out.
And the thing about it, the management is very accommodating, and they have a rule.
I think that this management could be very accommodating. I think we just have to ask them for what we want.
We've been through this before, so.
The thing over there is that you go in, and you know what, if you want to get something, you stand in line, get it, and then you take it to the room.
Okay.
Otherwise, it takes that element, and we have to all order and.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. So a little dinner waiting here.
That's it.
Yeah, thank you for.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah. Tonight we're winging it.
Yeah, tonight we're winging it,
Okay.
but I'm gonna find out how we could have the least amount of disruption here and, during the meeting, so we can just carry it. Okay? All right, I'm gonna start out. I want to say that we value people's input at our meetings. We want to show them respect, so let's please refrain from interrupting the speaker or getting up and walking away from the table when they are speaking. Hold your comments until they are done, and then raise your hand to be called on. Please join me in eliminating crosstalk during the meetings, okay? And if you raise your hand, I will call on you, okay? That was just an example.
That was an example.
It's because the chair was coming closer and closer to my,
Let's just move it.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
So the first thing that we're going to do, I want to say another thing here about the minutes. I think it's crucial that we review the minutes. There's been some consternation about the minutes since November and the bylaws and what happened with Paul Ford. And I'm going to tell you guys, I admit this, I did not look at the minutes. I gave it like a cursory glance, and I was done moving on to the next thing. And it's come back and bit me in the butt for November, December, and June. Now fortunately, let's go.
But actually, the rulings on the bylaws are in the minutes for November and December and January.
I know that now, but I'll tell you what, at the time, I was like having a three-quarter panic going, oh my God, how could we have not put that in the minutes?
But it was.
But we did.
But,
we did.
Stuart, thank you very much, you saved my butt, okay? I was able to go back to the videotape.
Up to the video.
That's right. And all of us can go to the videotape online of the meeting. If you missed the meeting, you can watch it. I mean, I know you guys are monks, but it's not as good as C-SPAN. But I want to thank you, Stuart, for doing this. This is a really important part of being transparent and being able to document what we do and say.
Yeah.
How about that?
Okay, so let's take, do we have the minutes?
Here's the thing. I did email copies of both the January and the February ones to all of the board members. I also paid 2 printed copies of January and 2 of February. I'd be happy to pass them around, or if you really want to keep a copy, you may, or tell me that you want me to email to you. But we're saving on paper a little bit here and not making like 40 copies of the minutes that just sit there on the table.
We will email them. So
And
don't
also,
hesitate to
I
ask.
pledge to you that the minutes will be written more promptly than I did this previous month, and they will get posted on the website, so they're accessible and.
Can we do that? Post the minutes on the website? Okay, that'd be good.
But anyway, in the meantime, here are 2 copies of January, 2 copies of February, and we'll just pass it down. I'll pass it down this way.
One suggestion
If
is.
you're not aware and you didn't get them online,
Yeah, if you want to put your little initial on it that you read it, that would be good too.
Or scan.
I don't know if you guys want your email, if you want me to send copies of the minutes to your email, do you want to do that?
That's very easy to do if we can do that.
Do you want to do that?
What was that?
Then we don't waste
The
our time.
suggestion is to, since everybody's name is on the roster and we have your email address, we can email you the minutes. Would that be okay?
That's good, yes.
Because then we cut down on paper. I gotta tell you guys, I don't like making a bunch of copies of stuff.
How do we approve the minutes though, if people don't? And so we'll just wait till
But we
next
can
time.
reply down.
Suggestions.
That might be good. If you reply back and say, yeah, I've read the minutes. Because then at the meeting, we could say, did everybody read the minutes? Is there something that's, yeah.
So did we-
Yes, right.
Suggesting that we approve these minutes at the next meeting, that's, you know, what we usually do. If we haven't read them, we can approve at the next meeting. Put it on the agenda.
So you're gonna send it
we're
back?
gonna have 3 months worth.
That's okay. That's
It's
all
already
right.
January.
Okay, that's good.
That's okay. We can get
I need a
five.
ringer and
Does anybody want
written
to
copies.
make a motion to?
And she's not here.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, say it again, say it again.
The suggestion is to,
If we approve the minutes at the next meeting for December, January, February?
No,
Because-
it's January, February,
And
March
March,
this
this one.
way.
And,
Because
well,
this
March
will
will be
come.
at the next meeting, so yes.
all of them.
All of them.
Does anybody have a problem with that?
I need a second.
Second.
Okay, anybody have a problem with that?
This is just discussion, right? There isn't,
Yeah.
only on that point of putting out my email and have people reply that they read them, that puts an onus on everyone that they have to read them and say, yes, that's exactly what I heard. I don't think you can do that, but that's not really what this motion, this thing we just made is about. So she's saying, well, we always approved of after meeting, now we have to go back and read January and February, and then in March, after we approve. This is March, yeah, for March.
That's what I was afraid of, was 3 months.
Yeah, but that's okay. We did, but what happened is that some things were left out that were subsequently now put in.
No, they were not left out. It's just that some person did not read terribly carefully, and they actually, everything was in there.
Well, now we still,
We are not amending any of the minutes. I thought we would have to amend them.
Motion to approve to make sure everybody's read them, and at the next meeting, then we approve the minutes.
well, a lot of people can vote no because they don't want to say I've absolutely read them. I think they're okay because not everyone wants to spend all that time reading it.
It takes like a minute and a half. I'm just saying it's not a huge time investment.
Or we
If
could-
you've been at the meeting. If
Or we
you
could-
haven't, it takes long.
We could postpone it until the end of this meeting, and by then, because how many people got online because you're on the board? That's
Yeah.
half the people here.
So let's start on page, let's call for the question.
Okay, let's all shoot the question. Call for the question.
So, yeah, restate this.
The motion is that we approve the minutes for January, February, and March at the next meeting.
Okay, and this is going to be crossed out of those.
Well, a little discussion. The only thing I hate to see is it makes it sound like we didn't do it. Since there was a little ruffle of feathers on it, I don't want to just put it off for another month.
Well, this is just to approve the minutes, guys. You guys are making a bigger deal.
So, hi there, we're just making a big
So let's
deal.
vote on it.
All right, so all,
Okay, so all in favor? Raise your hand. Of having the, of
Putting it off until we're in
Yes.
that's fine. I mean, we have to.
Okay, does anybody not like this? Is anybody voting against this? Is anybody abstaining? Two. Okay, so it passed.
all right, great.
Okay, thank goodness. Alright. So now, we're going to have the treasurer's report.
Okay, we began February with $561.20 in our federal account, $338.65 in the state account. We made deposits to only the state account of $178. The Raleigh deposited $100 dues that were collected in January, and $15 was collected in dues in February, and $63 came from passing the hat from the February meeting. So those were the deposits that were made. We only had one expense, the reimbursement that the E-Board voted to give Cindy Fowler from Citizens United for the Rowley, Lesser, and/or Banner, or both, that $200. So therefore, we ended up at the end of February with $877.85 in the two accounts.
Wow. So then again, how much?
877.85.
877.
And plus, Liz, I just want to comment that I think this way of looking at this is just great. It's simple. It's an accounting that we can put into the minutes right away. It's great.
Great.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, Lynn. This is easy and transparent.
That's great.
Okay. Okay. Does anybody have any comments on the treasurer's report? Okay.
No,
So let's
yeah.
move on to old business. I'd like to talk a little bit about the short sea shipping initiative.
I'm ready if you are. I mean, tell me more. I mean, go ahead. But I mean, I thought that when Cindy and I did this thing.
Okay, well, I'm just going over the old business part here. Talking about the short sea shipping initiative presentation that we had last month. I personally thought it was very informative, and I thought it's a very timely issue, and we should do something on it. And I'm going to, later on propose that yes, we can advocate for this by going to help other clubs become aware of this situation. It's something that I personally am going to work on and then propose a committee at a later date. I'm actually going to meet with Stas and Stella next week, and we're going to try to figure out ways to garner support in our area for this initiative. I think it's really timely because of what just happened with the port. There's a ginormous backlog.
That's my business. My business is all about bringing handbags and small leather goods into the port, and it's been a nightmare the last 8 weeks. I mean, it started last June, it's coming up to almost a year. It's a nightmare, but it
I
got really
think that
bad.
what we did to get the Long Beach City Council to pass a resolution on Citizens United is the similar route. We've already done this. So we could do this again. But this is a big chunky issue, and I think if we can get some support on this, all of the gun clubs can participate, and all of the civic groups that are concerned with this can participate. That builds coalition. That's one of our missions as a club, is to build coalitions with other groups. We need to have buddies on our side in 2016 if it's a big election. So that's all I'm going to say on that.
Can I add this?
Go ahead.
Yeah, because Cindy and I talked about this a bit on Saturday, and I took the liberty of just giving you guys a little bit of a review. There's not probably enough for everybody, but take one and pass it, maybe every other one. All this is, to follow up exactly what Maria said, was a little bit of a blurb about what the short shipping initiative is, in case you weren't reading last time or in case you forgot. And so, just as a quick review, it comes from the Rebuild the United States, which is RBTUS, rebuildtheunitedstates.com, and that's where you can go for a website. It's listed here. And the main issue is to try to get the ships to go from Long Beach, Los Angeles area to Oakland. And there's also a prototype of this in Atlanta. There's one in Rotterdam. They're starting to happen all over where the short ships, the smaller ships that take some of the stuff instead of trucking all the way up, they go on ships. So all we want from you guys, just one second, all we want from you guys is, and this middle paragraph is straight off the website. Again, this sheet is just for your information. It's not anything else. But if you notice, when I looked this up, that if you take the Long Beach area and you look at the council districts that are closest to the port, District 1, 2, 3, and 7, if you live in any of those council districts, if you contacted your council person or our mayor and just voiced your support for this, it would be perfect, because not only are the ships out there, but I believe that just like 5 days ago, there was a great big conference of all the shippers here in Long Beach. In fact, wasn't that about just 5 days ago? And they're talking about this as we speak practically. So, timing is like unbelievably perfect. So that's all. This is FYI.
Okay.
And I'm not an expert.
Is there a number on this?
One quick thing, the second district is actually Suja and Long Haul.
Oh, I'm sorry, it is, isn't it? Yes, okay.
And then you were talking about how you want ships to carry the goods to Oakland, also, as you said on your sheet here, to San Diego.
Yes.
The proposal is for them to go both ways, so that eliminates trucks going both ways.
Right.
north and south.
And maybe we could avoid widening the 710 and, killing all those people with the exhaust. So anyway, it's really a big deal, and I very much support it, and I think you guys should too.
I was watching CNN tonight, and I usually skip through the commercials, but there was this ad for San Diego, was trying to get that started in San Diego.
Okay.
So we need to get going.
They want to do it as soon as they ship it up here.
Yeah, they say support it, just say you support it.
The chamber thing,
Yeah,
Shane has a question.
Shane has a question.
No, when we contact our representative, we just say we support the short shipping initiative.
So I really have to say it, I just want you to know that we support the short shipping initiative to be able to take the congestion out of the ports.
It's actually the short sea shipping.
Short sea.
Short sea, short sea.
Faster. How many seashells can it
Okay, well, thank you for that. And does anybody else have any comments on the short sea shipping initiative? Okay. Now let's move on to another S word, shoe donation. We have a pile of shoes over here. Okay, so you guys brought some shoes, bring them up. Thank you for bringing this up.
It's for HUD, Hearts and Hands United in Giving. And my former bureau chief is a member, and it's to help the homeless, the youth that are transitioning out of foster care, and the mentally ill. And so they're trying to gather 2,500 pairs of shoes. And for every 2,500 that they gather, they, from an organization, they get $1,000 from this organization. I bought the flyer last night.
I got an email from you, and I couldn't figure out how to get in contact with Carlos Hughes, and I did it. Is this going to go on, or is it?
Just
Because I
the
do a
month of March.
So I
And I'm
can
gonna
contact
see
you.
my friend on Saturday, so this is very timely. I have a trunk full of shoes.
So if I have shoes, I should just call you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you guys hear that? If you
Yeah.
wear shoes tonight, you
Or
have shoes.
shoot me an email. I'll come by and pick them up. I don't like asking for money, but somehow I don't mind asking for your old shoes.
Well, thank you, Lynn. I mean, I
Oh,
feel
thank
good
you.
about doing that because, you know, I know people can use it. Okay, so is there any old business not on the agenda that people want to talk about? Anybody? Okay, let's move on. Is it hard to hear in here?
No.
Okay, the reason I ask is I do have like a little small PA system that I could bring to the meetings and we could plug it in, and I don't know if that would help anybody. Would somebody like me to do that for the next meeting?
It would help with the camera,
Okay,
Wait,
Stuart said it would.
without a camera, yeah. Next time I'll remember to bring my microphone. I think it'll be okay.
okay, well, we'll test it out. Okay, so let's move on. So now let's talk about new business, and I'd like to talk about tabling. Last weekend, I went to Bixby Knolls on Saturday afternoon just to see how much foot traffic there is on Saturday afternoon. Now, we've been going there for Bixby Knolls Friday.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Catherine. I think that on Saturday afternoons, there is a lot of foot traffic, and I thought, why don't I just start tabling here on the corner of Atlantic and Carson by the US Bank. Put our little table out there, but register some voters, talk to some people, maybe about the short sea shipping initiative. So I'm going to test that out, and if anybody wants to, test that out, please shoot me an email so we can set up the date and time when we're going to do this, okay? All right, and there's another thing going on with tabling that I think we're probably going to talk about in our breakout session, because there's some people going to miss it. All right, so Stuart, would you like to talk about sharing the email list?
Basically, it's a concern about privacy. When you join the group, you give us your email address and among other things, and that's how we send out the emails to everybody. I'm able to take the spreadsheet with the email addresses and make like a group card that I could give to everybody. My concern, I want to bring it up to the group here, is do you want your email known by everybody else in the group? In other words, if I want to send an email to Lynn, okay, but I want everybody else to see what I'm saying, then I would send it to the whole group. And then maybe she wants to take a name from that email group and send it to everybody else and use it. So what I'm trying to say, am I being?
Yes, no, I know.
Yeah, I can't blank copy the directory itself and have maybe Maria as the first person of contact, and then blank copy everybody else, we do the union and just blank copy, so nobody gets everybody's emails from me.
That's
I think-
one alternative.
I think that would be true for when we send an email. I think what Stuart is asking is, would Dagmar be okay if Phil and if Lily and if Maria and Carol, we all knew your email address?
Right.
That we
Like
all
have a
knew.
directory that everyone gets a copy of.
So that you can say, oh gosh, I need to call Dagmar, I need to email Dagmar, I have no idea what her email is. You know, because the e-board knows that. But does anybody feel like we want to share that, or people all feel like, no, I don't want anyone to know anything about, about me?
Al, you have a question?
Well, the comment, what I think you're talking about now, you're gonna have to put a disclaimer on your application, and the people that do not want their personal information disclosed, you're gonna have to give them a box to check that out.
I like that, put that on the membership.
Yeah, but for now,
For
could
now.
everybody say, you know, could you either
Well,
send Maria an email
and
or
come
tell
up
us
with it.
tonight, I want my stuff private. Just say, I want to be private, and then that's it, and we'll take you off. Or if you're okay with it, then don't tell us anything.
What did you say, Al?
I said, just come up, so just do it, and if anybody want to offer it,
No, but just do it, then it's too late. Do you have a comment, Nikki?
Yeah, I don't mind mine being shared, but the membership is bigger than this group.
Yeah.
And I belong to a lot of organizations, and there are people in some of them who misuse. And I wouldn't be surprised if there are people in this organization that misuse it. So I think we need to take a pulse of the members about whether they want.
Well, you know what, I have a suggestion then. Since I send everybody a MailChimp blast about what's going on, why don't I include this conversation in the next MailChimp blast? And ask people, you know, if you don't want your email address shared with any other member of the club, then please reply to me and we will handle it. And yes.
But remember, MailChimp is sent to 2,200 people. Some of those people we've never seen. We met them 3 years ago at a table and we've never seen them since. So I think this thing should be within our paid members. There's 30 of us or 28 of us. Then we somehow send an email out and we ask you to send back, okay, or don't private. Yeah, either say okay or private, or just something that simple.
Carol?
I like Al's suggestion, I belong to another group that does that. In fact, they have you specify which things. They actually print up a directory, and you can put down, you know, I only want my email in there, or I want my email and my phone number, but not my address, or I want my address, but not my email, and you can check off the things that you want to put in the directory, or none of the above, just your name as a member. And we can make posts like that, maybe even like at our meeting, pass around something and with the printed names of the members and little columns, which things you would be willing to share. And then the directory would just have everybody's names, but with, well, I don't know what the form the card takes, but anyway, you know, you can either have just your name or just your email or whatever it is you're willing to share.
So that would be like the next meeting, you would just have a document where you could just pass around and say check, 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 or no, whatever.
Yeah, I could have like different
Well,
columns.
you mean,
check the
can we
things.
do it now? I mean, you know, we have a lot of people here, if we can do it now.
Well, and Stuart, are you saying that you want to make us like little business cards with our names on it? No, so what cards are you talking about?
electronic.
Huh?
Electronic.
It's an electronic calling
It's
card.
for your smartphones.
It's from all either.
You've probably seen it, it's called VCF. It's like a Rolodex card, except it's a virtual contact form. That's what VCF is. Virtual contact form.
So are these in a folder? How
Where would I get that?
It becomes an automatic group for your email. Okay? And I guess we can members. So if you want to send an email to all Yes We Can members, that would be, you would just type that in the to field, Yes We Can members, and then all the names would show up.
Yeah.
I would be sending out a group.
I get it. It's like a group, when you send out a group email on your own account, right? I mean, you know, like the group.
So does it show the email addresses or just the email address? Show the email address.
Yeah, show whatever you want. So definitely email addresses.
You could do BCC, if you do BCC, it would show.
Right.
Okay.
But it could also have addresses and phone numbers as well? Or?
Al, do you have a question?
Another comment on the email, like you said, they had 2,200 addresses or something.
Well, those are people that subscribe
interest
to our,
list.
yeah, it's like our interest.
Yeah, that's
list.
Well, this
So
is
that's too many people.
where we're going. And we can, I guess, you can do it, put a statement down there at the bottom of the page to unsubscribe. Give them the opportunity.
Oh, yeah, there is. There
You already
is.
have that?
Yes, yes, there is. As a matter of fact, we're getting a lot of people that unsubscribe.
But, you know, I probably did send it to email.
They,
You know,
we,
they opt out.
we have people that opt out of the newsletter because they've been with us like for 3 or 4 years and there's not an election happening, and I think that they're just, a lot of people that maybe came out and registered with us, and that's all they ever did. You know,
But next year, we'll get it back.
I'm kind of weeding out the list actually right now, and, you know, if you want to forward our MailChimp emails to your buddies that you think might be interested, please do, because they can read that and then they can subscribe to the list. Okay, I think we resolve it. I think we're still a little fuzzy on whether or not we want to do that.
If that's ran on it, you could write your name, then you just put Y or N.
Okay,
for
Carol.
Things,
Well,
you are willing
Gabby and
to share
Carol
those.
made this.
But just within the membership.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Just
keep it
just
on our
the paid
active
member.
member.
It's actually, you would actually pay dues,
Which is about 28 or 29.
Just under 30 people. Okay.
And what I can do for the future is edit our current applications for membership form and put on there
Yeah.
for correspondence, you give permission for name, address, phone number, or just X, Y, Z.
I like that. I think that kind of covers the bases right now. Okay, well, thank you. So just take a look at this little sheet as it gets passed around. All right, so we are going to break out.
Committee charts.
We have committee.
Yeah, those words quite a bit.
That's one thing about being in here, so we're right next to the street. That's why I was talking about bringing the mic here. I might just do that.
I think you should, because you never know when somebody's going to come as a difficult hearing.
Yeah.
I've heard many times that that's a
I have
good
difficulty
speaker
hearing,
thing.
so.
And if anybody else has ideas for other places, we're not married to politics. We thought we'd try it and then see.
Okay.
So we're open, we have the green house options.
We're closer.
Yeah, so,
Email them to the greenhouses.
Okay, so Carol is going to start out on some committee reports.
So, yeah, most of the big activities for the equity team anyway took place in January. We had slides of it at the last meeting. You know, the marches, the tickets, all the stuff we did. The main thing that's now ongoing is with Janine Pierce's group, Long Beach Coalition for Better Jobs in the Community.
Good jobs.
Good jobs now. Maybe that's something good jobs. Okay. Anyway, yeah, please correct me because I'm really tired, so I may make more than an accurate mistake. Anyway, so they are currently doing an action with two of the hotels in town, the Renaissance and Weston. At the last meeting, I wasn't able to give you any details because they wanted to surprise the management who showed up and asked, can we please unionize? But now it's out there, and I had a meeting a couple days ago with Marlene Montañez, who works with Janine, and they've set up 4 more picketing dates, 2 for each of the hotels, starting next week. And I'm sorry, I meant to bring those with me, I don't have them. But I will email them to everybody in the club. If you're interested in showing up, they're typically in the morning at the hotels. I think they're all like 8 to 10 in the morning. The next one's next week. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I wondered, does everybody here know what Carol's talking about, what the action was?
Yeah, maybe I should explain.
Just to kind of tell us
Right.
what happened.
What happened is, to back up just a bit, we passed Measure N in Long Beach, which asks that they either allow their employees to unionize or at least give them $13.25 an hour living wage. So a couple of the hotels, the Maya and the Hyatt, unionized, and those employees are very happy that their working conditions, they have vacation, obviously pay, things are going better for them. At the other hotels, they had to raise their wages, so they cut staffing, so everybody's workload went right up. And the ones that are most impacted are it's usually women that clean the rooms. And they used to have to clean like 12 to 13, now it's like 16 rooms a day, 8 hours or something, 30 minutes per room, which is not a whole lot for between floors. You know, sometimes people have parties in the room, they have to lift those heavy mattresses, some of them weigh up 100 pounds. The carts that they have to push weigh 250 pounds, so they sometimes end up with shoulder and back injuries, but they're pretty much expendable if they have injuries in the hotel, just, you know, gets rid of them and sends someone else. So the working conditions are terrible. They're early in the morning to send the carts all the time. They're violating more than one labor law, like breaks and things like that. So they're going at this in different ways. They are looking into getting them written up for labor law violations. They're picketing to ask that they either improve the working conditions or let them unionize, so they can negotiate a contract. They're going to have like a public press conference, and for that it's going to be really important to have a lot of people from the community show up. Because the thing is, if the hotel just thinks it's the employees, they'll, maybe say nice things while people are there, and then just go back to business as usual. But if they think that a lot of people in the community are concerned and support these employees, that could make a difference. So they want to have a big event. I can send you all the dates. I don't know if you're on. I would urge all of you to get on Janine's mailing list anyway, to just get these dates. And I can send you the website or information to sign up. One of the two hotels was nice when they spoke to them and said, yes, we will change things. The others took a really hard line, and they're actually harassing the employees and saying, we saw you go to that meeting, speak up. They're following them to see if they're the ones complaining and talking to unions. They're really trying to scare them and threatening them with leaving their residency conventions like that. Scary stuff. Did you have a question, Eddie? Nada.
So there are also some ancillary actions that are, because the one hotel, as you said, in Renaissance, is actually, first of all, they have no choice but to let them unionize. That's under the National Labor Relations Law Act. And there are conditions under that the Renaissance is actually violating. Once they declare they're going to unionize, they're allowed to wear a union button and a whole lot of stuff. There are some ancillary actions besides the general picketing to show the workers that the community is in support of them because they are being threatened. And if the workers know, and a lot of workers are scared, I've done some of these, it's okay, go away. They're very scared. But some are not. And so it is actually, it's actually, I will let people know about, assuming we have email, I'll let you know, so you can let people know about those ancillary actions. We're going to do some things of, we did an early morning drop of the NLRA law to workers. We're going to do at some point, during letting all the guests know. Yeah, that's the end of it. And we're going to do some work with guests about what's going on. Because guests come from out of town, they have no idea what's going on. And so I will let you know, because I'm actually on the steering committee of the coalition. So I'll let you know, yeah.
Or let me know what we can do, email or something, send me information.
question to ask you. Does this involve any civil disobedience?
Not yet.
Okay. Just checking.
And everybody, and if it does, you will be told that, come if you're gonna do it. If you don't want to do civil disobedience, this is not the action for you. When they escorted us out that Sunday morning, we all left.
Did anyone see the letter from the editor of the press telegram? This was there was a, yeah, there
No,
was
what was it?
a worker, a hotel worker, who wrote a letter about humiliating conditions. She had to work it, and she described exactly this.
Okay, in fact, that was emailed.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
easy.
On my phone.
She didn't name the hotel, she said it was a luxury hotel.
Yeah, I don't know which hotel.
Yeah.
It was really very detailed.
Alright. Yeah, I should maybe send that out to everyone too, but again, I would urge you to get on their mailing list. Yes?
You know, maybe posting the letter on our website along with ways to get involved will be inspiring to people. If they read the letter, I don't think we'll get in trouble for posting that letter.
It's a
on our
public
website.
letter.
It's public, it's been on the newspaper, so.
Then people read the letter and feel some empathy, right, and get involved with us. So I will suggest to Stuart that we do that, okay?
I'm sorry.
That's okay, I'll get with you about it.
In the land, what everybody was talking about, where we really need to work. Anything where they can document harassment and all that stuff that's going on. And they gotta have a standard, that's what I'm saying. That way.
Maybe says they are documented.
It's being documented.
It is?
This is United.
Yeah, it's pretty extreme, they're just, you know, it's just incomprehensible, because if you think of it, what guest wants to go to a hotel that doesn't have clean rooms in front of the staff? Staff is overworked and injured and, you know, not allowed breaks, or not lunch or anything. You know, and they don't have time to properly use the rooms. I mean, you don't have a very nice hotel if you don't have employees that can do their job, so why are they making it so hard?
Where are you?
Just because they like us.
Because they're lazy.
Because they're lazy, out the last of the property. Okay, any other questions, or I'll yield the floor to my colleague? My dear colleague. Cindy, I know Cindy was really
You guys want to take a break then and eat? You want to take a break now?
As long as things have been.
Okay. Did you guys take a few? Take a few of these. I don't know. I have everything. Okay, I'm going to give you a little update on Prop 49. And I'm passing out something because it's coming right from the Money Out Voters In website. And it's going to show you some really amazing information. I wanted you to know how to get to that website and to kind of show you what that page, there are several pages on it that are very, very informative. So for those that aren't aware of what happened, Prop 49 was supposed to be on the ballot in November of 2014, but it was pulled off the ballot. Prop 49 came from a bill that promoted the Money Out Voters In, and I was part of the people that went to Sacramento to lobby the legislators to pass this. We wanted the voters of California to do a voter instruction. What this is a voter instruction. This is not the first time California has had a voter instruction. We are instructing our legislators, whether they be at the California state level or they be at the federal level. It's an instruction to tell them that we want to overturn Citizens United and that we want to amend the Constitution. And it's very important that people vote on it because number one, people need to know that there is a way to fix this problem. Because if you ask people, is there too much money in our politics? Is it crazy that the Koch brothers are spending billions of dollars? And, you know, why? That's crazy. Everyone agrees, yes, that is crazy. And then you ask them, can anything be done about this? Most people will say no, nothing can be done. So until we start having people talk about this, no one's going to realize that actually we can do something about this. We could fix this. So on the Modi website is about Prop 49, and what has happened is that the California Supreme Court is going to review the case. And if you know about anything about having a court case and Supreme Court cases, there's something called an amicus brief. And so before there's actually a hearing, the plaintiff and the defendant, if you will, both go to the world and say, who are the experts that can tell us why my case is correct, why I am on the right side of this. And it's interesting to note that the Howard Jarvis Taxpayer Association, which is the group that brought this lawsuit, the filing date for amicus brief was at the end of January. They filed 0 amicus briefs. Okay, so it is either A, they are feeling so very confident and they don't feel they even need an amicus brief, or B, right now they have some bigger fish to fry, which they do, and I'll tell you about that. So we have filed, I think, 5 or 6 amicus briefs, and you can actually go online and read who wrote the amicus brief and what did they have to say. It will really give you a lot of information. The other thing to know is that it seems like the case is going to be heard sometime this fall, and we have on the website, you could actually...
Yes, thank you.
Good. So on the website, you can actually click the button that says you want to sign a petition. And what the petition is going to do, it's going to include you when we want those letters to the Supreme Court to be mailed. So you can click on the thing that sign the petition. It gives you some template letters for what you might say. You can change it and add to it or delete from it, whatever you want. But the beauty of this website is that we will send you an email. We're going to have at least 2 to 3 weeks knowledge ahead of time. We don't know right now, is it going to be on August the 1st, September the 3rd? We don't know. But we know it's going to be August, September, October, somewhere in there. And literally 3 weeks before the actual date that it's actually going to run, if you go online and say, I want to sign up for this, what will happen is 3 weeks before the actual date, you'll have plenty of time to write your letter, put a stamp on it, and mail it. And also on the website, you're going to see, we harken back to that movie from the Christmas movie.
Miracle on 34th Street.
No, is it that one where no, it's the one where he jumps off the bridge, he's going to jump off the bridge.
Oh, yeah.
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a wonderful, thank you, because remember he brought in all those letters and he had a giant stack of his, that's the vision that we want. And so that's on the website, you'll see it. So anyway, so do take the time, go to the Modi website, sign the petition. That will put you in position to get the information so that you can get your letter in the mail right at that moment. Okay, so that's that. That's about that.
That's easy to do.
Yeah, easy to do. And then the second thing is, as you know, that's in this way and that way. This is the WhiteHouse.gov website. You know, Barack Obama is our president, and he has a wonderful feature on his website, which allows people to file petitions. And if the rules are, you have 30 days, you file your petition, and you have 30 days, and you can get 100,000 signatures. Well, somebody from Barack Obama's cabinet or whatever the proper person will have to respond to your petition. So the beauty of it, as you know, in January, we had the 5th anniversary of Citizens United. Well, now, in April 2nd, we're coming up to the 1st anniversary of the convention, which was the last disastrous Supreme Court ruling, which finally pretty much gutted every bit of campaign finance reform that we have in this country. You know, if you think Citizens United was bad, well, McCutcheon was just like piling on, like, okay, we're going to take it even further. So on the first anniversary, which is April 2nd, we timed this petition perfectly. March 5th, it actually was rolled out. It was the very first day. Today, March 5th is the day. And the reason they picked March 5th is because on April 2nd, which is the first anniversary of the petition, there's going to be around the country actions. There will be people protesting in the street, there will be people doing seminars, there will be people doing film screenings of the movie. What's the perfect? Pay to play. Pay to play. Because what we're asking, the petition is, we're asking the president to issue another executive order. Now, he's been doing executive orders, and it's kind of been making the right wing heads explode. And we say, well, wouldn't it be good to do another executive order? Let's make it really crazy. And we want to have the federal contractors, which you say, well, who's a federal contractor? Any corporation you can think of, Chevron, give me another corporation, Apple, every corporation is a federal contractor. So if we insist that there's an executive order that everybody that wants to be, a corporation that wants to be a federal contractor, they get a contract, before they get any money, before they move forward, if they've been awarded the contract, at that moment they have to disclose what monies they have given and to what they have given. So this is a really great way to kind of do a lot of things all at one time. So what we're going to talk about later when we break off into groups is what we're going to do on April 2nd, which happens to be our meeting night. So we have some ideas about how we can do that. But really get everybody to sign that petition on the whitehouse.gov. And the Moby petitions, it's a petition night, so that's very, very important. And one last thing, I'm going to give you a little clue. You know, Moby continues to lobby, and we've got Prop 49. We think that's going to get on the ballot in 2016, so we're not stopping here. What was that turnout in November? I mean, did we have a dismal turnout even in California? Like crazy. So what's on everyone's mind in Sacramento right now is how the heck do we increase turnout? Well, Moby, and I'm part of this, is actually, we are having, we think that if there was an election day holiday, everybody seems to know when they have a day off. They might not know when election day is, but they know when they have a day off, or when the bank is closing. You kind of go, oh, I gotta get my deposit in, because the bank's gonna close on Monday, right? So having an election day holiday is what we're working on. And our first stop was the Senate Pro Tem leader, Senator Leon. And we already had a meeting with him on last week with his legislative chief of staff, and they are very enthusiastic about this. Now, we've got some hurdles to jump over to figure this out, but just to give you an idea, we're talking about moving Veterans Day. Veterans Day has actually moved, and state by state, they've done different things on Veterans Day, so we already know we have precedents to do this, but if Veterans Day was always the second, or it's the Tuesday, the first Tuesday in November.
First Tuesday after Monday.
Exactly, so we would mesh those two things. It would be Veterans Day, and it would be election day.
Veterans Day, November the 11th, is celebrated the first Monday after.
It's a Tuesday this year.
That's true, because
And I'll tell you the state, we observe it on the date.
Yeah, but you know what? There is a way. We think the veterans groups would love it. You know, the thing that they fought and died for this country, that we got more people voting. We think they would be okay with moving it to the day when people
It would
vote.
still be the parade, you just vote first and then go to the.
Exactly.
I love that.
And it could be a shopping day. I mean, it could be good for everybody. So again, we're in the early days of this, but I think the election day holiday is kind of a cool thing. So I'm happy to be working on that.
Have they considered expanding the voting time so that you have more than one day? Yeah, also on the weekend.
There's a lot of different things we can be doing. Here's the other thing, the election day holiday, the idea is they could be part of the curriculum. When they passed the Cesar Chavez holiday, they had to put that in the curriculum. So imagine if we could do this election day holiday and also require that the students are taught civics and they're taught about voting and the importance of voting. Civics, exactly. So this is just, I'm not giving you much more than that. I'll just tell you that. And
I like it.
we're working on it, work in progress, WIP.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do the states that vote by mail, Is the percentage of their voting higher?
Yeah. I mean, somebody might be, we can't do everything, but we picked this particular thing, and like I said, there's a million things we can do, and that's a very good idea, but we're picking our spots.
In fact, I think someone in the legislature put that in the bill, that whenever you get your voter rally, if you have a mail-in ballot, you're just automatically going to plus one.
Yeah.
Everybody gets one, you don't have to use it, but everybody would get a mail-in ballot. with
Right.
their voters.
And I would expect that there's going to be a lot of people, different groups that are going to be proposing things like that. What Lynn suggested. I mean, I just think all of those ideas are going to come out because I think people are kind of focused on it. It's like what there was.
Today is the Times.
Yesterday was 10%.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they pointed out that in some districts that people were elected making all the decisions for this huge number of constituents and maybe only 8,000 people showed up at the polls.
Yeah.
And it's just, let's say you have 250,000 in your district and only 8,000 show up and you get, it's disgusting.
Yeah, it's terrible. So we're going to work on it. So anyway,
Okay.
you guys updated.
Well, thank you, that's good. So we're at that point in the meeting now where we want to take a short 5-minute break for BT's session or something like that. But then we're going to come back and we're going to have a breakout session. And the breakouts will be for people that are interested in the issue of equity or issue of movie. Now, this is interchangeable. This doesn't mean that if you're on the movie team, that's where you're staying, or if you're on the equity team, that's where you're staying. Because we're all doing the same thing. But, we're going to talk about movie-centric stuff in one group and equity-centric stuff in the other group. Okay, so based on what you've heard already, that will kind of determine which group you want to be
So
in.
we'll gather one end of the table
Yeah,
together.
yeah. So go ahead and take a break and we'll come back.
Okay. At what time do you want us back?
Just like
5 minutes, 5 minutes after 8?
Yeah.
Okay, 5 minutes after 8.
This pie's really good. Okay, it's like 6 after, so let's start up again. Okay, so we're gonna do breakout sessions for just about 35 minutes here on equity and moving, and Cindy and Laura are going to conduct these 2 breakout sessions.
So Maria's going to help me.
I'm going to help you. Cindy's going to help me. Carol's going to help me. So if you want to do equity, you got to move down here. Is that okay, Cindy? Yeah. And if you're moving, you're down there.
Equity is here.
Okay, equity folks, come on down. Yeah, I know, I feel that same way too. Give it a try.
You're so nice. Were you teaching me?
Oh, yeah. I'll come to the moment I.
What do you teach you?
It's going on.
Chips is invited.
So, are any of you guys over there going to come to equity, or you're local? Okay, because we're going to start. Okay, so, what Carol did a great job of earlier was she kind of did an overview of the events that have been going on in our equity, strong things that we've been doing. And
You know it?
just a minute, pardon me for 1 second while I find my files and things I had everything organized. And so, what we've been thinking we need to do, this is, I think, the third time we should all next step. In December, in November, we did our strategy summit, and we did it our third day, then in December, January, and February, that we've had a chance to meet together. So it's time to all work. December's the party, December's the party. So this third, but at any rate, it's time to start thinking about what we might actually be able to do concretely. So marching and doing the things you guys have done. And so the very first part of this,
So he already
that we should just let people go around and say, well, what have you done, if anything? We talked a little bit about it already, but our main issues here are what we decided was for equity was one we talked about minimum wage, and we want to talk about affordable housing. Those were kind of the two big categories. So, anyone have anything that, you want to come over here? So we can hear you. So, this is like just, you know, say whatever you want about what you might have been doing equity-wise.
We actually have, there's something called an action network, which we use for the morning.
Signing petitions, okay.
5-year anniversary. It's like, I was going to mention Agents Day for Abstinence, and we're posting.
Who does?
And you say, well, I said, go to 90814. So maybe you just move to spelling alpha, or you have to do, so we out, plug in who's got something they can get, something like this. So you could actually see.
Can you send me that
information?
information so I can distribute it?
Yes.
Do you have my email address? No. Okay, great, thank you for sharing. Anybody else? I mean, are there, are there causes that you'd like to discuss?
Even though you and I.
Anything else that wasn't already covered earlier? So make sure that
There's a lot
each individual, yeah.
Something that's been bothering me actually,
Why
it's
not
not
let
equity.
It's so perfect.
That if we don't do anything about national politics until everything's all set,
Are you talking
I'm
about
worried
showing the
about
movie
that.
here?
Because I think
On April 2nd?
organizations are getting together and money is rolling in.
Say we spend an
And
hour, 20 watching
if
film, and then we do.
whoever becomes our candidate doesn't have an organization, they don't have a chance. But also, I worry about the Democratic Party because it really did badly in the last elections, and they were handled locally by the Democratic Party. And I just think that that's the only place where we're going to make a difference, because our local, I mean, we're going to be the blue state again.
See,
So how are we going to influence anything? What could we do? I mean, that's bothering me a lot more than any of these other issues right now. So I think
Yeah, well, we could reach out and try to get, like I said, this.
decisions will probably kind of be in place, because all that money that we have, because we don't have,
Yeah, I think it'd be hard to figure out people that don't know. People that
it's
are
going to be funneled right into
Let
the,
me respond to that, because it's a good point, it's a good point. And I just want to remember with you and Carol, anybody can jump in here, right? So why we have the strategy slam in November is that what we found is that our membership drops off in non-election years. And we have a pretty good cadre of our 28 to 30 members who are our members, and we wanted to have activities that we keep us engaged, and maybe find some more people to join our group. With the very idea that Dad was talking about, that at the point that our candidate declares, whoever that person is, we shift our allegiance in going into action as appropriate for whatever groups it is that we are going to connect up with. That's one of the reasons why we're trying to have coalitions. That's why we're trying to become a group that works in Long Beach with a lot of different places. But right now, with the exception of a few interim city council positions and just one actually, we don't have a lot of things we can do. Yeah, this is only March. But Dagmar's right. I mean, we are a Democratic club, and so when it's important for us to start getting involved, and critically, time-wise, we're going to do that. We have what Maria and Cindy and I and Carol have talked about in Lynn. We're looking at job descriptions for the board, as well as keeping a very close finger on the political aspect of it through a particular member or two. And so we have a lot of fleshed out, so we haven't shared it yet, but we're not turning into an equity and who we call people. We are a Democratic club, we are chartered by the Democratic Club of California, but we have a bunch of issues that are Democratic values.
that traditionally we have, you know, we've always been more than just a meeting, but we've always been issue oriented. You know, we early on we were doing move to amend, and, you know, we had people who were occupied, you know, we've always had members who were active with various groups. And it also, I think it's important to keep forming coalitions with your groups, because then when we meet people for whatever group, we already have all these connections, we're networking with all these people. Plus all the
I think I agree with Laura. I would just say that I think we all ought to be paying attention to any ideas or possibilities of how
6th
we
and 7th.
can, get going as early as possible. But aside from that, I'll drop that subject.
I've gotten some emails from working on the Hillary campaign saying that they're having house parties around California, but there was nothing around here, you know, and I was like, okay, well, I think the last I read or something was, is that, I mean, everybody knows she's going to run, but at the same time, she's not declared, and so, you know, there are different things ramping up in different states, but we do have, I mean, there will be someone. In fact, I want to do it, when you probably get to the next meeting during the April meeting, to have an update, because we're not just like a social club, social issues club.
Is there room for more than one film?
All right, let me go ahead. And talk about the next little thing that we're going to do.
So we need someone to
Don't you want to talk to you? Yes, I do. That's kind of what I was going to say. Okay, so what do you do next? I was, do you have anything? Okay, go ahead.
Somebody, go ahead, we ask you what I was thinking. People really are not. Like, one of us went to the gym. Here's the big road. Yes, we can.
We need something. But we are talking about doing
You know,
something.
we pick them up.
So we have that.
A representative,
That's right.
I would think the birthday, a vice president from each club.
See, the problem,
Be a representative.
if I may, the problem is that we are not enough. That would be, I think it would be difficult to pull out. I mean, I would say if there was too much in that, 6 weeks.
We're gonna do a big screen, we're gonna do a really great thing, so we just
And
need to
these
do
strong
something.
candidates,
That's
somebody
why
who's
we're
fine
able to
and
say,
backbone. There's not
maybe we don't
running
do
away.
maybe we don't do it in
When
one
they keep
time, but we
build
do
us up. This last campaign,
That's key.
Democratic,
And then not to mention,
I mean,
even if you
it's
did,
not,
though,
we think it's nothing to
gave up,
show,
ran
we're
away.
gonna ran away from
They
the
didn't support the president.
Haven't seen
And then that's why they had to build on the strength that person had. They were one. But they got sucked into it by the Republicans.
well, this is the thing is that
Well, yeah, so again, you know,
that was one issue,
we
that's why I
can't
showed
really
right
talk
here.
directly to the Democrat or
And I showed up.
party at this moment,
So,
because that's being developed and.
Oh, no, it's great, but we're talking logistics.
Carol's been there, and we haven't had a chance to do a lot of meeting yet, but trust me,
And
that's
in
on
our
the
case,
horizon,
in our
very
case,
short
we already have
horizon
another,
here, so.
another.
All right, anybody
thing
else want to talk
happening
about
that's forming up.
native?
And not to mention the Green Price Festival. which I'm
Aside
involved
from
too. I'm just a little bit concerned that we could pull something
wage
off.
theft.
Because if you look at it from the standpoint that
Anti-wage theft.
when we showed,
There's also
now look at the law, just stuff like that, you know, we didn't get that much of a.
on
I
for city
don't
council.
wanna use that as a.
Well,
I
there's no time for that.
I think that we don't think.
Anyway, I can't remember what I understand for it.
I think this is just.
Yeah, we talked about that at the last meeting.
I've seen this keep coming.
Well, I think
Escrow,
Escrow.
the renters escrow account program,
yes.
You know what, this is about.
where,
So if we get
if-
40 people.
because very often people who are renting from the slumlords complaints that there are rats or roaches or flying into
I'm
their
sitting way out here, some guys
and
sitting out
then
here.
they just get evicted. But with this program, it's one that they have in LA already, you file a formal complaint with the city notifies the slumlord, and I think it's 3 months to fix it. Doesn't fix it within 3 months, that the renter starts paying his rent to the city. So that the slumlord is not getting any rent money until he fixes the problem. And then meanwhile, there's like a moratorium kind of for the renters. He cannot be evicted for, I think it's 1 year or something, so that gives the renter time to look for other housing if he thinks that the slumlord is like retaliating. But it gives them some extra leverage, because as it is right now, a lot of people live with horrible living conditions because they're afraid to complain for housing, affordable housing is really difficult to find. So, yeah, so that was a thing, that was a slideshow last month. Because there were some people from our group here that marched for the rally at City Hall, we went to the City Hall meeting, and
That's how we have to play this out. We have to relay the
the
president.
mayor has appointed various citizen commissioners, and one of the citizen commissioners is from the housing law.
We have to show like he was talking about.
And so he's been going to city council meetings, taking renters, and
I know.
said, speak.
They still have to do that.
But yes, they do engage in lobbying. Yes, the city council is a little reluctant because meanwhile, the apartment owners
I'm gonna say this
association
event, the best we can is do.
took a stand
on the
against
state
it,
and.
which is unfortunate because
But we can't charge
most
somebody any money
apartment
for this,
owners
they have to just
are
come in.
operating in good faith.
New York
They're
had a
not
big street down the way, and we're
So
gonna get.
why would they not want to,
What that,
clean up the town,
June,
that are not around
in May, and they're looking.
So the next yes we can meeting is.
That hurts everybody.
That's not something we have to do, that's kind of sensitive.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a draw.
How about the-
And that's another
What
way.
would they get a complaint, what would the, how would they, people start living?
Because we're all gonna be there, so.
So maybe
They
the guy
can.
we talked about.
They can do that. But that always, first of all, that takes,
So he, when he was.
some more
here, he would give us a
time.
location.
and it also
And he would bring us.
leaves the renter
And we
open
could pay
to
them.
retaliation.
Yeah, they
Of
can,
all kinds.
they can dog the rent, they can kick them out.
Okay, then another
So it's an
suggestion,
auto charge?
if we
Okay,
know
because
it's rent,
I
and
think
has
it's
a
just ask
problem,
people, so
let's find a way for them
pay $5.
to submit their claim anonymously. Can we do that?
It's hard to do that when you're complaining about a specific place.
They have to
You have to have big purpose.
You have to go find parking.
Yeah, and the REAP has been it's in LA and it's in a number of cities. It's been a very effective. It's come up and they have postponed action. So the thing I think is, you know, this group's a nice middle class group. To go in and say, it's hurting me, that my property values pass the
Yeah, Maria and I went to one of the meetings that was trying, and she suggested, well, why not get just legitimate landlords to go talk to the city council and say, I'm fine with this. Yeah, I can't do something wrong with it, I have to maintain the
Okay, so, next day's Thursday, let's say a week from today. Do you need to chime in?
Well, I tried to go on the action, things like that, without the action.
Okay, so-
where the-
And you were sitting out in the hotel every day.
Yeah. And I got that.
Just take our names down and say, Maria,
Oh,
What they
okay,
did was
that's a
very
good
great,
call.
to see that the Renaissance was really not very supportive, and the Weston was very supportive.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna show the movie.
But, you know, they can be very supportive when you're there.
Yeah.
They're gone, they go along.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like,
Well, they weren't very, they said you will follow the law. That's what they said. That's support. The Renaissance has actually.
That's all we really need to know. I mean, you don't have to.
It's really nice to have somebody that says, well,
I think you're totally qualified to be here.
All right, well, let's take a little different tact here on this to see if we
comments in an additional action here, and Cindy and I talked about it, see what you think. If you don't like it, we can not do
Keep it
it.
simple, because you know what?
Being this is the third meeting, people are very, very
The movement is
passionate
at
about
this
these
time.
issues.
Or in a
One
month.
of our
where it's going to be,
objectives that we
because
have
it
in
is
our
changing.
organizational structure here, that I brought copies of, this is for 2014, we haven't yet updated it, but we're going to. But one of our main objectives is education. And so, whereas we're informing ourselves more about these issues,
You know, there has to be more
another
than just going to watch the
leap
film.
we could take
You have to have
would
an
be
opportunity
to
say, "Hey, that's
inform
important,
the
I should
public
go
through
through
tabling, like Maria just said, she's thinking of going, the first, whatever, Saturday afternoons or something. We are gonna start doing more tabling, because we do the election here, registering voters and stuff, you know. Yeah, California's blue, but we still need to get our voters, and so we're looking people, and we wanna get them out to the polls and just start doing it. So, what we decided to do about 4 years ago, we got started sort of slowly, but we made a little bit of headway, is that we agreed that some of us, that we members, would take certain issues, write a half-page or so write-up about the issue we were passionate about, and have it presentable for the tables. For tabling. So, my proposition is that we get 3 or 4, or those of you who are interested, to take a look in a minute, we'll be more specific about some of these issues, and have you do a little bit of research, and come up with something that you don't have to make gorgeous pieces, print it out, and we'll have like a little series of information sliders about and the whole issue of wage equity. A lot of people don't get that. What's the wage equity? That kind of stuff. And I want to show you an example of what I mean before you decide. All right? So, 3 is actually coming up to 4 years ago. I said, because I was just curious, I said I was going to look up what the Republican echo chamber was all about, because we wanted to have something at the table we could talk about. Because we had a lot of voters at that point, and we would like more, we'll get more, next year's going to be very busy. So, did you pass it on? Yeah, okay. So I put together this little sheet, only I just actually, this morning, I needed it today, as a matter of fact. And I didn't make it gorgeous, because Maria said she'd make it gorgeous if it looks good. But here's what I found out, and I'm just gonna walk you through this real fast.
Before, this is just slightly off the subject though, but it just occurred to me another place.
So, in the Republican echo chamber,
People come in at decent.
if you start in the center of this group, what you see is a dollar signs.
We had a meeting there.
The money from big corporations begins this whole thing. The echo chamber concept was started with the Powell memo in 1971. And Judge Powell, who was the Supreme Court person
And they have an error
on
on the
the
fact that
federal
we had a meeting.
Supreme Court, said, we're losing you guys. He was very conservative. He was a member of the Chamber of Commerce. He said, we have got to reshape the message. So, what happened was, at that point, and this is all bona fide, this is not oral talking, this is information I researched. And there's some examples of my research right here that I brought just to show you how many iterations I've gone through. You don't have to be nearly that detailed to do what I'm suggesting, but we do want to make sure that it's not just some fluffy piece and that it's accurate. And I searched not just, the political sites, but I searched also the general information as well as the market, etc. In fact, that's what's wrong with my little thing here, because I don't have the attributions, and I would suggest.
That's actually so good.
It's not, I'll tell you, I'm just gonna run through this really fast. How it fits in here, so good for you. You've heard of So, big corporations started funding think tanks. American Heritage Association, American Enterprise Institute, the Heritage Foundation, the Cato Foundation, big conservative think tanks. There are these beautiful places on strength. Yeah, except that's not actually an institute, but it lives similar.
but it's just the code names.
Yeah, I know, well, let's see, bear with me just one
They
second.
have an abbreviated.
So what happens is, they are actually university type places, big shiny places on the hill. They go to local colleges that are conservative, they find the best and the brightest candidates. They make them scholars. That's what the first thing at the top was all about. They make them scholars. These scholars, and they are super sharp, and very good, they're very presentable, they make sure that they look good.
And then.
Oh, that works.
Okay, they write position papers on things that are favorable to business.
Well.
So for example, when Social Security was the issue a couple years ago, they came up with the idea that Social Security is going to collapse, and they're going to raise the retirement age. So in addition to the position paper, they come up with some talking
I don't know
points.
that we watch the
Before
movie
they
now,
leave the
right?
university.
10 minutes of the.
The next step, follow the arrow, is to take these good-looking academic people out there to the Sunday talk shows. They're very carefully placed. They write letters to the very carefully placed editors. They have academic magazines. They have conservative publications and some others that are not conservative. And they put articles in their papers in there so that these talking points will start getting the lexicon.
I want to write
Step
that. in the letter.
3.
Okay, just don't do
Next
that.
arrow. The talking points are now out there.
So you
Raise the retirement age.
find a big.
So what happens is, it's repeated over and over by the mainstream media, by blogs, by the cable news, etc. And they hope that it builds grassroots awareness, so that people not, you can use tea parties as a grassroots. Of course, the Koch brothers paid for the tea party, don't do that. But people get all upset over these things. They start calling their legislators, which is exactly what our plan. Plus the fact that the money from the corporations is going to each one of these stages. And finally what happens is, these talking points go to the legislators go in and try to pass bills. And many times they do. Now, before they get to the writing of the bill, as Stuart just said, ALEC is the American Legislative Exchange Council, which is that group out there that was discovered and done at the same time, 1979, that writes model legislation. So Carol and I sit in our offices writing those things, like the state of that with Draymond Martin. They discovered, Rachel Maddow, everything on this. Discovered that 14 states have standard ground laws that are almost identical. Because Carol and I have been members of ALEC that have all these big hotshot corporation representatives. And we write examples so that when that legislator in Florida goes, he has something to talk about. He just fills in the blanks. So ALEC is in this last place here, and it's critical and serious. That video has had a lot more knowledge, a lot more attention. All right, well anyway, so I have told so many people about this since I found out. This is astounding. I felt like everything was connected. This is the real deal. And so, if this were on the table, and we knew a little bit about it, and somebody came up and said, blah, 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 talking points, then we could talk from something like this. I know, maybe you couldn't, because you don't have it memorized, but I mean, some of us who are thinking about it, we'll speak to it and then hand it out. Now, the one thing you need to know before we move on is that Democrats are also, liberals are also starting to do.
Okay, what we should do here is touch out specifically, so who would like to be on the resource team and what kinds of information.
Well, that's Miles right there. So we have here are some ideas that we were talking about. This came from one of the papers that came out, which are, too many pages. Okay, so the Roadmap for Inclusive Prosperity, which is from the Center for American Progress, Center for American Progress, that Carol sent to us.
How many men are on this?
Has these items: increasing workers' share of economic pie, raise wages and incomes, eliminating financial education issue, tax policies that promote fairness, labor force participation, public investment to create jobs, wage equity, housing fairness, etc. I think if we took some big topics like that, and people just volunteered to go out and find out, I mean, all I did when I started this plan was I typed in echo chamber in Google. I didn't know a darn thing about it. You don't have to be that clueless. I was pretty clueless. And if anyone is interested in trying, just taking it for a spin and seeing whether or not do something that you share with us, I think it would be really helpful because we need more data. Plus, at the very least, you educate yourself. All right, so Carol.
So, yeah, the issues that
The deal is that last 2-3 months, some of that was already studied.
housing has been very nice informational things on the REAP program.
And are there things that we could put our little label on?
Carol,
We would have to get their permission.
best thing to do is to find some very well done information by a reputable group that we also agree with.
You know why?
But then allows us to use their material, because otherwise some of these costs are huge.
Going over there.
Yeah, we would need their permission, and I would suggest that it not be very wordy, having graphs or a drawing like this, just something that, catches people's attention, because you're not going to do a federal facility over tabling, and no one's going to read multiple paragraphs. But maybe what we should do is decide who is interested in which issue, and you can kind of look around and see.
Maybe just try it.
Maybe we can put a fence to look at a couple of issues.
Well, there's three, but I think
Let me just say one piece. So what we need, I think the right way to look at it, and that's a possibility too, is that we go, let's say we go to Janine Pierce's group, we find something on housing. If it's a simple thing, I don't like, simple even than this or a half a page, that we can put the logo for yes we can on the bottom of, that we get permission for.
Okay, it's now.
If it's a synthesis of a longer document that the other groups put together, that is what would be kind of the legwork that everybody doing. It isn't that we're going to create from scratch a whole document, that's not sensible. But you can go out and look at some things that have been done and compile it in a way that would have a handout of some sort that we can give out.
But things like just wage inequity or wealth inequity, that can be expressed in some kind of a chart. That's not something that any of these local groups have, but you can find out. So maybe we should
So does someone just have, is anyone interested in something they're willing to try to do?
or maybe I'll ask,
Was kicked
could I
Yeah.
Okay, wealth inequality, wage staff, maybe put the issue that you're most interested in, and then we'll see, there should be, at least two, probably, issue that we fit in together and sort of research it.
Yeah, you can put it together.
And if you're going to be, of course, if you're going to use materials.
I know, that's what I'm like.
I know we should tell them.
There must be another one.
As far as the hotel workers issue, I don't know how much of that I would probably have to contact, Marlene and say, do you want this publicized? What if, like, the story of a hotel worker that was in the newspaper, that organizing a machine, if they let's do it.
That was in the paper, so we're.
So let's do that, let's pass this around. And,
I have an eye.
If we're gonna maintain.
I never got my permission.
Can you email me those things?
What I said about this, or about yes, I can, we can do that. But is anyone willing to try something right now, between now and the next meeting? Just try it. Okay, what would you do?
Well, I would either, I I have a whole lot on wage inequality, though I
Oh,
think
then, no.
what we
I must
need
have
is
just-
more reduction
You did
policy.
have to get your-
I think it's important for us to move it to Long Beach, and that I don't have.
Okay.
So I wanted to wait to see if there's any date on that. And then wage theft, which is,
Okay.
stuff on that.
All right, that'd be great, Jada. I mean, it's just whatever you can try. I mean, it's like, we don't have a definite deadline, but anybody else willing to?
That's cool.
Okay, okay, that'd be great.
Why don't you?
And what, DACA? Okay, so that's Kathy. All right, well, if we just start there, then we'll just see. And so maybe by the next meeting, we'll just have a little something, and we'll see what we can do.
All right, yeah, I like it. Did you make that one?
I did.
Wow.
I know it's true, very cool.
That is very cool.
I thought it would craft it, it's very
Okay, you guys. So,
Lynn's doing this part.
okay. Lynn, go ahead.
All right, Carol, do you want to give us a little recap of what equity discussed, and then Carol will.
Well, we just talked about some of the groups that are already active, like the Long Beach Housing, the REAP program, the hotel workers, those type of things. And then we were talking about possibly doing some tabling, but for that we need informational sheets. And so we were discussing where we might get ready-made materials, or if people are interested in researching a particular topic, like Nada volunteered to come up with some things about wage theft and welfare equality, and immigration. Okay. And Catherine is going to get some information about DACA and immigration. Was there anyone else? We kind of rushed through the last part there.
I can do something, but.
You want to talk? Maybe we can.
Yeah.
All right.
Give you a choice.
Okay.
So are you all gonna meet and organize like some materials so that the end result will be a flyer or some information?
A different
Or a table?
Yeah, or at least meeting virtually.
If you guys need any graphic help, please let me know. If you have text, and if you have something that you know, an idea of what you want, I can help you assemble the graphics. I just can't create the thing for you.
Right, exactly.
So I
So
can assemble the
give her the
graphics.
copy and she'll come up with a graphic for you
Yeah.
that will work, that will illustrate your idea.
Okay?
And Moby is going to focus on April 2nd because that is the 1-year anniversary of McCutcheon. And we're going to do a screening of the film because still a lot of our people who are members have not seen the film. Yeah, you haven't seen it. So a lot of people, so the idea is kind of internally to see the movie, but venue, so we're not going to do it here. And the beauty of it too is that we're listed on a nationwide platform. It will be like a Facebook thing where people who might have just moved to Lakewood and are wondering who's having a screening or who's doing an event in this area, and our address would come up and then they would actually come. So we might actually get some new people that are interested in joining us. And we're going to actually market it. We're going to market it too.
It's not just our club. We're going to ask other clubs, like Long Beach Down Club. Hey, look, Jimmy Studdard's
group to come.
come and join us. And we're actually going to have our meeting on that night. We're going to have a quick 10-minute, read the minutes, approve them, do the treasurer report, and then boom, go right into watching this film together. And then at the end of the film, we can have a little, discussion about it. And once you have all these people gathered, you want to reach out to these people and say, if you want to work on this, if this means something to you, I want to be able to get in contact with you. Okay, so that's our plan.
Why don't we all try and invite a guest?
Please.
Bring somebody.
Now, is there any?
It's a movie. Yeah, we're going to have popcorn. Popcorn for the movie.
This
So that would be the next
is
meeting,
Okay.
April 2nd.
This is the time of the meeting where we want to have any announcements. Ronnie, you had some announcement that you wanted to give.
Yeah, I just, on Sunday, there's a nonprofit called Long Beach Timeshare, Long Beach Time Exchange, and we're having a spring mixer on Sunday from 12 to 3 at Long Beach May, which is at 264 Pine. And it's from 12 to 3, and you can come in for your orientation about the time exchange, and there'll be entertainment, crafts, there'll be food, there'll be, it's a potluck. It's the time exchange, just briefly, it's a offshoot of building healthy communities on the west side. And you join it as a member, it's free. And what you do is you bank time, and you use the time you bank, you use it to get things, other things you want. So as an example, I tabled for them, and then I got 5 hours for that. So I could take my 5 hours, and then I could look at the 450 people that offering different things that I'm interested in. Like, I want to take ukulele lessons. So I'm taking 5 hours of ukulele lessons for those 5 hours, and it's no money exchange all the time. And the exciting part of it to me is, it really is about valuing everyone's time equally, which to me is part of what is about equality. It's about someone that can cook a meal to teach someone who doesn't know how to cook, and their time is just as valuable as somebody who's a doctor or whatever. And we're hoping to grow this larger. Right now, about 450 members in Long Beach. But we have huge Cambodian community. We have, all these different people that have all these exciting things that can teach each other across cultures, and it's all for free, and it's very valuable for everyone. So you can come find out about it, and if you go online, Long Beach Time Exchange, you can join actually online, and then you can actually do it online, and you can see what you want to do, and you can say what you want to do, and it to me just so resonates with me in terms of my value system. I'm in love with it.
What's the time?
It's on Sunday noon to 3. Long Beach, it's out May in Long Beach is the store, and it's a store for 264 Pine.
Okay, thank you, Marty. And Al, you have an announcement you'd like to make?
Just speaking of what you said, time is changing. The premise of that group is you do things to people, but it doesn't cost you any money, it just costs you time. And then you say somebody has to go to a doctor or something, they don't have the line to get there, possibly no money. You just use your time, to take it. You put in some time, and if you need something, you get some time. That's what's happening.
Exchange. It's another way of exchange on the currency. Money is not everything.
Okay, is there any other?
Well, she writes her device. That's vintage device.
Are there any other announcements? Okay, if you guys bought some food tonight, please fork up some dough. And,
Because they're just giving us one check.
there's just one check, yeah.
Did they give it to us yet?
No, I
Yeah.
don't know.
One check?
Did Michelle come? Did he give you a check by any chance?
No, but I'm looking here.
You're kidding, but you
I saw it.
Right, it's about $5.
Like was the, you got the guy that gave you the stuff.
Yeah, but that's weird, there's no prices.
He doesn't have a calorie either. There are prices, it doesn't cost anything.
There's no prices.
Yeah,